Today I've got something a little different. A few different expressions of the English language and where they've come from. You've heard of the old phrase, "I gave him the whole 9 yards." Well, that came from the American Air Force during World War II. The gun belts for the American fighters were 27 feet long, of course, 9 yards. When the pilots used up all their ammunition against various targets, when they returned, they would say, "I gave him the whole 9 yards." It was close, but no cigar. That one comes from when carnivals catered more towards adults. At that time, cigars were predominantly the prize, and of course, if you didn't win, you'd be close, but no cigar. To turn a blind eye. That comes from Admiral Nelson, when he would use his telescope over his blind eye. Those are the times he didn't want to see the orders that were given to him by his command. And it usually worked out well for him. In the Battle of Trafalgar, he had a victory when he was actually told to retreat. "Oh, put a sock in it, will ya?" Well, that phrase, "put a sock in it," comes from the late 19th century, early 20th century, when gramophones just basically had the horn. There was no volume control, so to reduce the volume a bit, people would put a sock in the horn. White elephant. White elephants were very sacred in Thailand, and it was an animal that you could not harm and had to be well kept and well treated. If you were to, say, offend someone, a way to get back at you, they may give you a white elephant, a creature which you cannot harm and you really can't give away. But of course, elephants aren't cheap to keep. They eat quite a bit and they need a fair area to wander in. So most people who received one of these elephants usually ended up going broke. Got caught red-handed. Well, that phrase goes back to the 17th, 18th centuries. Forensic science wasn't very advanced back then, and the only way to catch a thief, especially one who had stolen a farm animal, was to see if his hands were red after he had slaughtered them. If his hands were red from the blood of that animal, then he was convicted. Well, we found the Achilles heel. Well, that phrase goes back to ancient Greek mythology, when Achilles' mother took him to the river Styx, held him by his heel, and dipped him in. This was to help give him immortality and protect him from anything that may harm him. But of course, when she held him by his heel, the water didn't touch him there, and hence, that was his weak point. Now you have to remember, all of these particular sayings, they come from the mists of time. So we're never really 100% sure if this is where they came from or not. So just take it with a grain of salt.